Challengers is out in theaters, latest film from Luca Guadagnino, director of Call Me By Your Name, Suspiria and Bones and All. This one stars Zendaya, Mike Faist and Josh O'Connor, and is easily the horniest and sexiest movie I've seen in several years, despite not actually having any sex scenes shown on screen. What it is a story of a love triangle between three professional tennis players, two male and one female, told through a very interesting story device where we watch a final game of a tournament between two guys, which Zendaya is watching from the audience. And even though the tournament is a sort of low-level competition, not a very prestige one, we immediately get a sense that the match is actually extremely high stakes for some reason. And that reason becomes apparent, becomes revealed through a series of flashbacks that slowly explain the backstory of these three characters. I don't want to say anything else because about the plot, because I think it's a real joy to discover yourself. I mean, it's been a while since a movie gripped me this way. I was really glued to the screen. I couldn't wait for what happens next. I couldn't wait to learn to see what I'm going to learn next. It's very engaging. That's for sure. And there's a lot more that I loved about it, because long story short, I think it's an excellent film, and even the more I think about it afterwards, the more I actually appreciate it. First of all, I usually don't like this storytelling device of starting a movie at the end with a match or a duel or a battle or other type of final confrontation, and then going back in time from there. But in Challengers, it's done to such a great effect, and it allows the audience to continuously recontextualize the match that is going on with each new piece of information that is revealed. And also, brilliant detail, the way the match goes mirrors the story in a way. The score reflects what we find out about the past. In general, there's a lot of background details in the film which subtly add to the story. There's a lot of non-verbal storytelling, including the fantastic churro scene, many shots framed with Zendaya between the two male characters, the motive of the giant poster on the building, visible in multiple scenes, and perhaps most importantly and most satisfyingly, the very earned climactic payoff to a setup, probably the best one that I've seen in a movie. I won't say what it is, but there is an element established early in the film, which comes back later at the most crucial point in the film, and it's just fucking phenomenal. I also want to say that any movie based on a love triangle dynamic is reliant on the chemistry between the three actors, and in Challengers, chemistry is off the charts. Crucially, not just between Zendaya and each of the guys, but also between them. It's palpable and believable and completely real, and I loved it. In general, the three performances are splendid. I think this might be Zendaya's best work yet, with how different she is as a teenage version of the character and then as the more jaded, worn-out adult. Mike Faist is very good. Josh O'Connor is spectacular. I liked him best. I think he does a great job of remaining charismatic and likable, even in moments when he's acting like a total piece of shit. I like the music, which at times is absurd. I mean, it sounds like, I don't even know whether it's techno or disco, but like 1970s German porno film music, and sometimes it will blast at high volume during intense conversations, but somehow it really works. I love the cinematography. As I said, many of the shots are framed in a way that tells the story without words. I think the tennis match at the end is done very well, in kind of inventive and exciting ways. I like the shots from under the player's feet, as it were. I appreciate the shot following the ball and then going into overhead wide shot very smoothly. I didn't like the POV shots from the eyes of the two players. I thought that was a little bit too much. And in general, I feel like there are several things in the movie that are a little too much. The occasional element of cinematography, the loud disco music, the way the film ends, the slow edging before the giant payoff that I talked about earlier, the philosophical conversations about tennis as life. There are times when I thought, oh, come on, now you're just being a little self-indulgent here. But weirdly it fits, and I forgive Luca Guadagnino for those oversteps, for doing all these things, because it very much feels like he's doing too much, and he's saying, well, what are you going to do about it? This is the way I'm making this film. And because a lot of the film and a lot of the characters in the film are like that, he gets away with it. He does things which shouldn't work for me, and yet they do, and I can respect that. Yeah, I loved this film. I really did, much more than I anticipated. And again, like I mentioned earlier, I liked it a lot while walking out of it, and then 2 days later, I really just can't stop thinking about it. Is it a bit campy and cheesy and self-indulgent and horny as all hell? Absolutely, but it knows what it's doing, and it dares you to dislike that, and I just can't.